Burrow airs it out. Chase. Hello. Touchdown.
And I got a voice inside that needs to be fed.
Are two of the best historically, just not thus far. Against these receivers.
Making judgments again, and there is Smith roaming free, breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly.
Good evening, everybody. This is Jordan with Ohio Sports Talk. We are coming at you live tonight, post 4th of July weekend. We hope everybody has a safe and fun weekend. We did a little episode pre-recorded for the weekend with Lombard. We wish Corporal Lombard the best. He was fun having it on here. Fun to everybody that watched the replay on our YouTube channel, our Twitter channel, and Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else you can find us. It was super fun. Today is another special episode. I have another guest, Landon Young, running back for the West Claremont Wolves down here. I've got some West Claremont gear myself. He is going to be a senior this year. Going all team here, everything he does for the team. We're going to go into his stats and what he's done and, what's to be expected of this season in his mind. And, I'll chime in too, being a fan, being a former coach of the youth program over there. It's going to be super fun. Landon, welcome to the program. How you doing this evening, sir?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. Welcome to Ohio Sports Talk. Your first time on, but, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a little bit, in passing on some of your workouts. I've caught you here and there. You go to the same school as my oldest daughter, Jordan Shope. So that's always been fun. We've been to a lot of your games. I interact with your dad quite a bit, former service member himself. So when the holidays come around, we like to chit chat about the good old days, and it's gonna be fun. Welcome to the program, and tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a senior at West Claremont. You got a big year coming ahead, and just kind of introduce us here. Are you from the area? Did you guys move? Have you always been West Claremont? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm Landon Young from West Claremont High School. I've always been in Amelia. In my youth, I played for Glenasty, but then Amelia and Glenasty merged. So then I just stayed here, lived here, loved it here. Nothing's changed.
That's awesome, brother. Hey, and tell us, our fans, you've been playing football at least for as long as I've known you. Where did the love for the game come from? What started Landon Young in the game of football to the person that you are today?
I would say it all started just playing backyard football with my little brother and my dad, and he always kept me going, kept me with all the sports, always making me move on to the next sport, switching positions, keeping me as an athlete.
And that's a lot of what I do with my girls. My girls are multi-sport athletes, trying to find their footing 100%. My oldest is going into her sophomore year, so big year for her. So I totally understand that. Mm-hmm. I played football for a long time myself. I played for the Navy and the Marine Corps, outside of Miamisburg High School. So, it was an honor and a privilege to play on the next level. Outside of that, I was not big enough to go anywhere else. I am a whopping 5'8". So, my biggest weight was maybe 215 pounds, I think was my senior year. Before I went to boot camp for the academy, where I shaved off to 180. So, totally different times in, totally different ball, but definitely, the same love and passion. I coached for the Alter system last season. It was super fun. So I'm definitely still involved heavily when it comes to local area for football. So, but, it's our co-producer and, my co-host who's been out for a little bit, we played a lot of backyard football, so I even understand it. Even in my 20s, I'd be on Marine Corps leave, and we'd go up to a park and use a tennis court lights would be just enough to light up the field next to it, and we tear it up for hours. So I definitely understand the love for backyard football and things of that nature. But you're going into your senior year, sir, and 2024 last year, your junior year. 1,357 rush yards, 123 yards a game, 5.8 yards a carry. Sir, that's incredible. I was able to watch we had a couple Thursday night games for Alter. So I was able to watch a couple games that you participated and played in. And, it never seems to unimpress. So, and I know you've been knick-knacked and banged up a little bit here and there, but, big things coming into the season. Walk me through that last year. 6-4, 5.8 yards a carry. Take me through that. What does it take? How do you, what does what's a regular workout for Landon Young? What does it take?
Well, I'm extremely grateful to have a good strength and conditioning coach at West Claremont High School who will just print out everything we need to do. And I would say one of the biggest things for me is rehab after games, ice baths, keeping everything in touch on what the coaches need me to do. And then I'm really grateful for getting the ball as much as I could those last year. And, my O-line was very incredible. They did what they needed to do to get me to the line of scrimmage. They got me to the line of scrimmage, and they let me do my thing. They trusted me with the ball. And that's all I needed to do.
I couldn't have said that better myself as a former athlete. The offensive line, I was a receiver and linebacker myself. So the offensive line is everything. If they don't hold up, none of us can do the rest of our jobs an outside or in a backfield. So I'm glad you give those big fellows credit where credit is due, because that's, the trenches, it starts and dies in the trenches. I can say that both as a coach and as a player. You also played a little bit of linebacker. You tallied 15 tackles, 14 solos last year, and a couple pass deflections. I know you're running back at heart, but how fun is it to get to hit the other guy when you get to go out there and play a little bit of linebacker?
I love playing both sides of the ball. I've always played both sides all the way up through youth. I do what the coaches need me to. If I could play both sides of the ball all game, every game, I would. But we have amazing athletes at West Claremont High School, and everyone has to get love.
I appreciate a man who stands behind his team. But that was always I was more of a cover backer in a 3-5-3 scheme. But definitely getting my hands on some guys, getting a little bit of revenge here and there after I got banged up on offense was always super fun to come out and make a statement that, hey, I'm not just here as hitting practice once I touch the ball. So, I understand that ruthless aggression that you want to get out after getting, dinged up, running the ball and doing things of that nature. Last year you guys finished 6-4. What part of the season for you was like, everybody kind of has a statement win every year. For West Claremont and your team last season, what in your mind was that like, that just that game that was like, oh hell, we have arrived?
I think it's Mount Healthy week 1. I was coming off an ACL tear. We have a brand new team, brand new O-line. We were just getting it back together. We lost a lot of seniors. Week 1, when we won that first game, we realized what kind of team we can be. And we just kept going and rolling. And this upcoming year is going to be a big year for all the young guys that are on the team or watch us perform.
Yes, this year, I'm excited for you guys. You got a little bit of stability on the coaching staff, some familiar faces, and really a lot of youth. So you as a senior, I'm sure it's shouldered on especially your class this year to really step up and be a part of that. So, but what this year, and I don't have it in front of me, so I apologize. Who do you guys open up against this year?
We open against Mount Healthy at home this year.
Mount Healthy it's at home this year. Okay.
Yes, sir. Very excited.
That that's something I might have to go make an attempt to see, depending on my schedule.
It's gonna be a big game.
I think. Yeah, I know my daughter raves about it. She's definitely going to be there in one of your guys' biggest cheerleaders, whether she's on the sideline or in the student section. It's definitely going to be big. But really looking at first team ECC, Eastern Cincinnati Conference last season, first team All City, and second team in the tri-state, brother. That's that's a huge thing. I coach in this area. I don't coach Division One, but I coach Division 4. But just knowing the Division 1 talent around here, that those are some big awards as a junior.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people that get passed up on that up until their senior year. So, one as a coach and as an admirer of the game, congratulations on those awards from me to you. That's huge.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, my pleasure, man. And especially coming back from the ACL. If you want to touch on that a little bit, I won't press. I've had some foot injuries in the Marine Corps myself. I've had my foot reconstructed and a little bit of work on my ankle twice. But walk us through that. Some of our viewers that's never been injured or never been involved in something like that and having such a huge comeback. What went into that rehab and what was the hardest part of it?
I would say the hardest part for me is just losing all my muscle in my leg. Looking down, not being able to flex my quad or seeing the muscle that I gained all throughout my years. It really just made me know what I had to do to get back to where I needed to be for my team and my coaches. It helped me understand how much rehab would help with muscles, getting back to where you were. And I'm extremely lucky to have Marseille and Tyler as my trainers because they helped me every step through it. At home, I'll do bands, ice. Ice is a really big thing for athletes nowadays, and even giant ice tubs. I'm extremely lucky to have them. And Coach Mormon, he would always check up on me and make sure I'm doing well. Even if I'm not practicing, he'll still be there. He'll come to my house, make sure I'm okay, make sure I have everything that I needed. I'm extremely lucky to have him as my head coach now.
And that's always a testament, I think, to any coaching staff. I came from the Miamisburg area when I played, so I can always say that our doctor's name was Bogey, and that guy, whether it was dead summertime, winter break, it didn't matter what it was. I always had access to him, 24/7. Whether I sprained my ankle playing some dumb stuff at the park, or during conditioning, jump in a box and my leg going the wrong way, he always answered the call. That's something very fortunate. I think the youth, especially your generation, doesn't get enough of. So when I hear stories like that of coaches checking up on you, that always makes me feel good about the direction of the sport and the direction of, the care of the athlete. Wins and losses are one thing, but at the end of the day, it's about you guys. It's about educating you guys both on and off the field, making you a gentleman on and off the field, and sharpening your skills. Hopefully what you learn on a gridiron translates to life. And, that's something I hold dear when I coach. So hopefully you're getting that too. And it sounds like you are. So definitely, I'll tip my cap to your coaching staff and company for keeping you together. And, that's a big thing. So this year, your senior year, you got a lot of a lot of integrating going on. What do you guys expect this year? I know the biased answer is, kick ass every day. And I think you guys will do that regardless of the outcome when the clock strikes zeros. But, take me through that. What with respect to you and your team, what do you expect this year, sir?
No, everyone wants and expects an undefeated season. But we expect, if it's a win or loss, we will put everything we have on that field for our fans, our team, our coaches. We'll put blood and tears on the field, and we will put up a fight, no matter who you are, and we know that.
And I have no doubt on that, sir. Especially, like I said, coming off an ACL injury and having a 1,357-yard season on the ground alone. That's so big. And in a day and age where they have these surgeries down, that's huge. I want to see you guys go super deep into the playoffs. I watched a couple seasons, when Bo Rickman took you guys in, I think it was 2 years ago, and that and beyond. So, I'm super excited to see where you guys go this year, especially with the staff and the integration of youth and senior leadership. I would love to see a ring. I think that I don't think that's unobtainable for the raw talent you guys have on this team. I think that if you guys pull together, and this is just my opinion, not getting you in hot water with your staff or anything, but in my opinion, if you guys get this talent together, I see some great things and some great titles headed your way. And that's outside looking in as a coach from another division, another area. So, but I'll be there for a lot of games, and we'll see where it goes. Week 1 kind of dictates the season, unfortunately, for a lot of teams. So I think you guys are going to come out and make that statement yet again. So, but outside of that, sir, tell me, what we are in the summertime. What is your typical? What's your favorite thing to do in the summertime? You get a little bit of that off season. I know you're still grinding. I know you're in the gym. I passed you in the gym, both the Planet Fitness and other places around this area. But what does Landon Young like to do in his limited spare time when you're not grinding in the summer?
People just say a lot of people just like to relax, but I would like to say I like playing summer baseball a lot. I still like being active. Or in the mornings we go to football and then baseball training right after that. I like staying active with sports or tossing the ball with my dad or my little brother, getting better. I don't like being bored. I don't like staying at home playing video games. I play video games every now and then late at night, but I like staying active. Baseball, basketball, wrestling, whatever it is. That's my summer.
And I understand that. Outside of my workouts, I grew up a triplet. A little history about me there. All boys. My brother was a predominant swimmer. My second to last brother. So he kept me busy in the pool in the summertime outside of my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday workouts. So I was always kind of getting it in there. And I'm a little bit of a gamer back then. We had the PlayStation 2. I didn't have the online play to play with my buddy. Everybody had to come to my house and use a multi-tap, which I'd be shocked if you understood what that was. But no, that's a little stab at your generation.
I had a little PS3 back in the day. Xbox 360.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the 360, I respect that. Your dad brought you up well on that then. The 360 used to be everything for us back in the day. But yeah, no, that's good. But you do need to relax a little bit too. And for our fans, just a little bit, we always ask kind of a silly question too, towards the end of interviews. I can speak this evening. What's your favorite summer movie, or what's your movie? What's your go-to? Like it's late at night, or a franchise comes out in the theaters. What's your favorite?
I would say it's not a summer movie, but I would say my favorite movie of all time right now would be Cars. Cars 1, Cars 2. It's Lightning McQueen. Always get it done.
Yes. No, my oldest, Jordan, I call her Junior because my name is Jordan as well, is a Cars fanatic, sir. You guys would.
It's an amazing movie.
They
don't get better than Cars.
I had never seen them until a couple years ago when Jordan sat me down and made me go through all of them. So I respect that predominantly. She even dressed up as Lightning McQueen last year. It was a big Cars theme for her and her friends. So I respect that. I'll probably watch it 100 more times before she graduates and a couple hundred more times when she comes home from college. So totally can relate to that at the moment as a father.
You got to. It don't get boring.
It really doesn't. And, I like you say the grind because he learns about himself. There's a couple lessons within that Pixar movie that can relate to definitely real life. But Landon, we have 925 live viewers on right now. If anybody was listening, especially in the replays later on, well, here I don't want to jump to that. I know you're going through a little bit of a recruiting process right now. My brain gets scattered, so I apologize. What's that like? I know you've been to a couple of camps. Where have you been, and what's that process like right now?
Well, I'm extremely grateful for every college that's even messaged me on text or X. I have a few Division III offers, Division II offers, but every camp I've been to, I've learned from either players or running back coaches or even head coaches that would pull me to the side to talk to me. At camps, I just put everything I could show and have them and make sure I kept my eye contact with the coach and just sat there and listened to him. I'm just thankful for it. Marietta, shout out Marietta. Coach Branham, he's helped me with my recruiting with other schools with him, teaching me what they have to offer at Marietta and other schools as well. I'm just extremely grateful to have them to help me with the recruiting process. Same thing with my father. My father wasn't a big athlete in high school, but he knows what he's doing, and he's helped me with messaging or my ex or anything else that has to do with Prep Red Zone or any kind of camps.
And big time. And I always ask because this day and age of the NIL and how recruitment is just, in my mind, vastly different than when I was going through recruitment with Bluffton, Youngstown State, a really long time ago in 2007. And, ultimately had the Navy and Marine Corps knocking on my door after that. But, I always try to pick the minds of the athletes these days because I know it can be vastly different, especially with the day and age of technology. Back then, they'd call my house directly on a landline. So, or it had to be the coach's office was a little beat up looking phone that looked like it walked out of the 1980s and just stayed hooked up. So, there was no like email and, I didn't have a phone until my junior year. It was a little prepaid Nokia, but, we didn't have all of that. So a lot of it was face to face and in person. We didn't have technology and emails and, just different recruitment tools that they have nowadays, which, I'm not against it by any stretch. I think, the more the merrier. We get you out there, you're able to get your stats, your name, communication, especially with how they do recruiting these days. I love it. I think it's awesome. It's definitely a 365-day job on their part. But, that was just a little question for you because, every time I do an interview, it sounds a little bit different or something kind of changes. But, like I said, 970 viewers live right now. If anybody was listening from any school or any program, what does Landon Young bring to any locker room on any level, on any given Saturday, any given Friday, or maybe in the future, any given Sunday? And this is just a personal question for me to you and for everybody listening. What do you bring to the locker room that would stand you out versus any other athlete they talk to?
I would say I bring a leader. No matter if you're a freshman, if you're a junior varsity, I'll help you through the steps on recruiting from what I've learned from other coaches or from what they need to do to get to that next step to get on that starting lineup on the depth chart or to that varsity level. I would say I'd bring a lot of competition. No matter what position it is, I'll come out to be a receiver if that's what needs to happen for you to get better. QB doesn't. Competition at West Claremont, we bring a lot of competition. O-line, D-line. I'm extremely grateful to be in the position I am with my team and my coaches.
All right. Well, like I said, if anybody's listening, there you go, folks. Outside looking in, from what I know about you, work ethic, unbelievable. We know you battled through the injury, and that, to me, mentally says a lot. I know a lot of people fold after injuries. So, just seeing that, even as a, instructor of the military myself for the Marine Corps, you see guys come back from injury, come back from the sick bay, come back from rehab. They decide to opt back in and finish it out. It speaks volumes. It speaks more volumes than anything that could be verbally said. So just that alone and posting, a 1,357-yard season after that is outstanding, sir. So I think anybody that's listening, any coaches that's listening, we've had guests such as Jim Trussell on from Ohio State and Youngstown, on down from athletes that are currently playing. So anybody that wants to chime in is listening. I think you guys are getting an absolutely outstanding young man. I'm going to put my stamp on it. Anything you want to say to our viewers or anybody listening before you depart this evening, sir?
I'd like to thank them for taking time out of their day. They could be doing anything else, but they're here listening to me and you talk for about 30 minutes. So I'm grateful and thank you for being here.
Hey, and we are up to 1,022 live viewers, sir. So we appreciate your time. I thank your father as well. I think the West Claremont program for also letting us continue this interview. Hopefully they will send it to them. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to your father. You guys can post it as well. It'll be on our main page for at least a week. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartMedia. We're a little bit everywhere. But thank you for your time, sir. You're always welcome back on the show. I can't wait to dive into the season. Maybe we'll get you on mid-season when you guys are rocking and rolling. Definitely we'll be in touch soon. But, I'm excited to see where the future holds for a young man. And, when you step up to that ladder and you get to go to much higher places, don't forget me. Don't forget to come back to Ohio Sports Talk. We'd love to have you back anytime you're available. But thank you for your time. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll continue to track you through the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was Landon Young, folks. West Claremont running back, senior this year, going to very big expectations. They went 6-4 last year. I know they're going to do better. 1,357 yards coming off a tear. I can't wait to see what he's going to do 100% healthy. And, we're going to get those guys. We're going to root them on. We're going to track them through the season. We're going to post them on our show regularly. And, we're going to get those guys out there. So thank you for Landon Young. Thank you to his father for allowing this interview. We can't thank you guys enough. And, we'll definitely see where the future holds for the young man. We're diving into a couple other things here. Back to a little bit of our usualness. The Reds go 2-4 on the road after winning 17 of their last 25. They go 2-4 on the road for a disappointing series against the Phillies. Not a lot to be said there. Offensive inconsistencies, pitching inconsistencies, bullpen not doing well. Just kind of the things that we saw in the beginning of the season. Do I think they'll bounce back 100%? They start tonight a series against the Marlins at home against Great American Ballpark. Let's take a little look-see. I know it's going to be either in the first or second inning. Let's see how they're doing. In a 0-0, we are on a weather delay. So obviously the rain has not stopped. The rain stopped a little bit in my area. So I was hoping that it may have stopped in theirs. But we'll keep you updated on Twitter. We actively update the score and when things happen. It'll be on Ohio Sports Talk on Twitter/X, whatever's easiest for you to access. But yeah, that was pretty disappointing. So on to some happier news. FC Cincinnati is 5-0 in their last 5 games. They are first place in the East. Folks, this team has gelled together. This team is doing well. This team is firing on all cylinders. We said that back during week 2 and 3 when we were kind of on a roller coaster. Myself, my producer, my co-host Doug and I, we both agreed that this team needed to gel together. A lot of new faces. We departed with an absolute all-star. We have Dinky and Evander at 12 goals each, leading their team, leading the scoring, and they are just on fire. We have the next hell is real rematch against Columbus, who have struggled themselves. So if there was ever a game that's going to mean a lot, man, this Columbus Crew game coming up is going to be for all the marbles for FC Cincinnati. And with it being internal, with it being a game that Columbus owned last time, I think, this is going to mean everything. Can FC Cincinnati finally take the mantle on the state, make the statement? Outside of that, continue to rule the East? We'll find out. We'll keep it posted, very, very soon. Cleveland Cavaliers, not too much different there. Last time we reported, they signed Larry Nance Jr. They brought him back. He's back, folks. I'm happy to hear that. We made the trade for Ball. We departed with some other players. It's been fun. Ball, I've got mixed feelings on him. But, he's definitely an upgrade from some of the roster spots we've had offensively. We're going to see how this all pans out. There's some other free agents out there. There's some Kevin Love talk. He's going to be bought out by the Utah Jazz. We'll see where that goes. I have some other things. I hope Beal maybe is in the mix. I know, a couple Cleveland outsources, immediately jumped on there as soon, as did Ohio Sports Talk when he is getting bought out currently by the Suns. That would be on my wish list. We missed out on Jordan Clarkson. He is going to the New York Knicks, which I can't believe because that's a team we beat up on in the regular season. That's a team that couldn't get over the hurdle against Boston either. So, but he thinks he can win a title there. He's going to be 33 by the time the season tips off. I would have loved to see him come home. He was definitely on my wish list. But we'll keep you informed when the Cleveland Cavaliers continue to pull triggers. Not much Cincinnati news when it comes to the Bengals. Trey Hendrickson, they've resumed talks. We've heard this shit before, folks. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm not really impressed with any of the front office. I know we secured down the lease for the ballpark to remain there. So we'll see. The Brown family, oh my God, you got one contract done. Congratulations. When we got T. Higgins done, when we got Jamar Chase done, I thought Trey Hendrickson would be next. Shamar Stewart's still not with the team. There's a very real possibility that, he's not even going to be with us. He could re-enter the draft next year, but anybody with a common brain, hopefully he'll go 4th or 5th round or even later. He wasn't really high on my list when we drafted him, and it's even lower now. I know both sides are kind of at fault, but, the language of the contract, you want the job, you'll sign it and you'll show up. I've always kind of believed in that no matter what you do in life, whether it's a regular job or especially being a professional athlete, get the hell out of here with this shit. Sign your contract, do what you're supposed to do. Don't mess up. A lot of the language is the same. The New York Giants are doing it with their 1st round pick and their pass rusher. So if they can get it done, he's willing to go. A much higher profile than Stewart is. I think Stewart's going to eventually cave and realize that, his hopes and dreams of the NFL are going to live and die with this contract. Maybe we'll change the language, but, at Cincinnati, we'll see. Get Trey Hendrickson locked down. Let's end this foolishness. Get this somewhat of a defense together and let this offense shine is on my wish list. We reported last week that, the Cleveland Browns Stadium is going to be built with some of the $600 million plus of money that was signed over, a lot of leftover money. We got the language up on our Twitter page of that deal, but Cleveland's getting a new stadium, long story short. So that franchise moving forward, finding a quarterback is going to be absolutely key. The last I heard, Joe Flacco has the endorsement of all veteran players starting week 1, but we know Sanders is eventually going to take the reins and move forward, hopefully. And they have 2 first-round draft picks. So if, God willing, it doesn't work out, they could pull a Titans and go back in a draft and get a quarterback the second time around. Or in a Titans case, it was the 3rd. But, that's really been all, folks. FC Cincinnati has been kind of the pride and joy. We'll have some Ohio State news and recruiting on Thursday night show. We'll be back at you live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for Landon Young for coming on the program. Absolute fun. Great young man to talk to. Absolutely amazing work ethic. We'll see where that young man's career goes. We'll definitely have him back on. And, thank you to the 1,185 live viewers. I'm the coach, Jordan Maxson. This has been Ohio Sports Talk. Have a great week. Have a great post of 4th of July. Hopefully everybody was safe. Can't wait to interact with you guys again. Good evening and good night.